There we go. Okay. Oh, that didn't take very long. It's a dink. It's a dink in beautifully clear water at a brand new lake. Hey folks, Cornell with YouTube Fishing Vids. I took a little trip. I got out of Dodge. I took off from my little spot in Maryland and avoided that local lake of mine to travel about an hour and 20 minutes into the Shenandoah Valley. I'm at a little 117-acre reservoir called Lake Frederick, and supposedly it's a great lake. Supposedly it's got great bass fishing. It's got all kinds of stuff in here. Big old bluegill, crappie, the main forage for the bass, and they've caught some giants out of this lake in the past so many years. So here I am outside my normal routine trying to catch a few bass on a brand new lake, and that was the very first one. So thanks for joining me. Let's see how well we do today. So I did a little research on this lake, and there's no doubt, you know, hearing about it being so clear and maintaining its clarity throughout the year, even after heavy rains and every storms, it's a pretty clear lake. And obviously at 117 acres and in a pretty, you know, busy community type area, it's going to be pressured. So of course I brought my trusty drop shot. It's a perfect situation to have that drop shot in hand, because if you're going to catch something, it's going to happen on a drop shot. And it's a great search bait. You can basically test the waters and see what's really going on down there. So literally that had to be no more than 3 casts in to my very first handful of casts into my new spot here. So yeah, the drop shot, that happens to be Morning Dawn with a little hot tip in chartreuse on my classic drop shot setup. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep at it and see how this drop shot treats me, and then move on to other things if the lake allows. I see a shady little point over here that just has a little bit of shadow casting on it. You know, it's a tiny little lake. It's only 117 acres, so it's not a lot of ground to cover, but it's got some good depth to it. This lake averages 20 feet deep, but has holes up to about 50 down towards the dam. So all kinds of little points. It's kind of like a V-shaped lake, little pockets here and there, but just a couple main stems, and it's a pretty basic lake to figure out. So I'm gonna be fishing off some of the main lakes. They've got a lot of little standing timber and underwater, you know, logs and such. So let's see if this little shade pocket right here holds a fish or two. Okay, here's the conditions log. Gorgeous, bright, sunny skies. High pressure. It's a little bit out of the full moon, maybe about a week, and light breezes and 80-degree water temperature, about 80, 81 degree water temperature. So low humidity, just absolutely perfect day to fish. Not perfect day when it comes to the conditions to fish for the fish, but great for me. Haha, I made it all the way to the dam. I knew I had to go to some deep water, folks. And here's my first decent fish of Lake Frederick. Second cast right against the drainage here, right at the dam. Pretty good fish. Oh, I love my drop shot. All right, let's see what we got here. Awesome, good little fish, nothing crazy. Easily brought in, but nice belly on. Wow, they've been feeding good. There we go. All right, that drop shot's the deal. So yeah, over here by the deepest water in the lake. About 8 feet right here on the drop off this little rock wall here by the dam, and it goes out to about 50. So there we go, big little football. There we go. Wow, that's great. That's 2 casts later right here by the, I'm so glad I made this move. Deep water, really steep drop off right here off these rocks, and that's the big deal during the summertime when you got the cooling waters of the night and then you've got the heat of the days coming up. Those fish can pretty much go up and down vertically, and these are the perfect spots in the summertime to find a few fish. So we got some numbers going on already. I haven't been out here long at Lake Frederick. It's already producing, again, thanks to the drop shot. So there you go, that's dink number 2. All right, folks, I wasn't recording. I was literally just trolling along, as I always do. Not always do, in cases like this. I troll on my way from spot to spot or point to point. I got a little bandit 200 on here. It's just going down about 8 feet, and there's a lot of fish suspended, which I've been seeing. Tons of wolf packs of fish everywhere, and boy, this little guy grabbed it at full speed on my 55-pound thrust trolling motor. So let me get some pliers, get those out of there, and maybe I'll throw a crankbait a little bit out here. Who knows? I was only at it for about maybe barely a minute, and he grabbed this thing. So who knows what'll happen if you do a little trolling out there. There you go. Oh, guys, I did a change up, and I think I got a pretty nice bass here. Let me see what I have here. Swim jig. I threw, oh, nice little bass on a swim jig. Bluegill pattern swim jig, knowing there's bluegill in here. Oh, there he goes. I got him in the boat. All right, calm down. You're lucky I got my nice little pad right here for you to bounce around on. But how about that? A moving bait on a pretty pressured lake, but way back up this arm. I'm way up here. This is tingy water compared to that cleared main lake. But yeah, that's exciting. So right up on a log, bang, right when I hit the water. So let me show you what I got here. I just got this awesome swim jig in a bluegill pattern. I got that rage tail on it. I dipped the tail. So the second it hit the water, he whacked it. I'm almost speechless. It's always awesome to catch a fish on a moving bait, especially on a new lake. So yeah, I'm excited. I got myself another bass. Let's see if we can catch another one. Yeah, right on the log and right in a little bit of shade. It just all makes sense, and there's not a breath of wind. So I decided not to throw the chatterbait or the spinnerbait idea. I thought I just did a little more subtle rage tail swim jig, and man, he crushed it. Pretty awesome. Oh, I almost got another bite right there. I guess you guys could tell I was pretty excited and kind of shocked to catch that fish on a moving bait, but there it is. That's the swim jig I was trying to show you guys, with that rage tail chunk and green pumpkin with a little dip tail and chartreuse. And I can't remember, dirty jigs, that's what it is. That's a bluegill dirty jigs right there that I got, 3/8 of an ounce. So yeah, just throwing up into the shade, into the wood. Okay, I'm just using my my tripod right now because the battery died on the chesty, so the audio is not going to be so good. I made it back out to the clear water. Let me turn this boat around because that sun is way in your eyes. I was literally changing a battery, looked at my depth finder, saw just everything all over it. It just lit up. So I literally dropped straight down vertical with my drop shot and picked this little bass up. So another drop shot fish in the clear water over by the dam. Another fatty. Well, I think little Lake Frederick here in the valleys of the Shenandoah is gonna give my local lake a run for its money when it comes to how pressured it was. You see these boat rentals over here. Every single one of those boats were rented out over the course of the day. The parking lot was packed. There was dudes out here fishing, kayakers. There was paddle boarders. Man, this place was absolutely ridiculous in a great way. Everyone's out here having a great time. It was absolutely gorgeous. Fishing wasn't bad. It was a great day to test out the new lake. I got myself a half a dozen fish or so on some random this and that. But folks, I'm gonna call it. I'm dragging a big old worm, see if I get that last minute monster out of nowhere, maybe a pop or two. If something happens, I'll give you all an encore, but I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. So folks, as always, I appreciate you joining me. As always, I appreciate you subscribing, and until we meet again, over and out.